Yo, what's good guys? Inswain with Inswain Audio. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, where have you been? Make sure to subscribe and join the family. We missed you. Welcome, welcome. Today, I'm going to be telling you guys a few different ways that you can get brighter vocals, nice and crispy, and cut through your mix and give you that pristine, polished, modern industry sound. All with stock plugins. So let's get into it. Alright, so first, I'm going to play you what we got here. It is a little rap beat with a rap vocal. I'll let you hear just a little clip of that.
Been up on my waist, money on the table. I just want some sauce, catching for the mail. Flew right overseas, baby, San Diego. Been up on my shit, baby, fuck a label.
Okay, so that's what it sounds like with no processing, just raw. So now let's go over the different ways we can get this vocal to brighten up. So the first way is with EQ, but more specifically, analog emulated EQs. In this case, we're going to be using a Pultec emulation in the Logic stock tube EQ. All I did here was a high boost of 3.8 decibels, and I set the frequency in this case to 12.266, but you can adjust that, as you want to get, a different amount of boost or a different frequency. So what I'll do now is I'll play you it bypass back and forth so you can hear the difference, starting with it bypassed.
Been up on my waist, money on the table. I just want some sauce, catching for the mail. Flew right overseas, baby, San Diego. Been up on my shit, baby, fuck a label. 100 kept the real, man, through all the years. Always tried to.
And these are going to be subtle, but when used in combination or to just get you across the finish line, this is how you're going to get that bright vocal. So you could hear there, especially in the sibilants, the vocal got a lot brighter. So cool. The next way is saturation. In this case, we're using the stock Logic Chroma Glow, new plugin here. Haven't used it much. This was really like my first time actually dialing in something real quick. But yeah, anyways, I set it to magnetic, colorful. The drive's at 54%, but then I pulled the mix down to 47%, and that's all I did. So once again, I'll play that for you before and after, starting with it bypassed.
Been up on my waist, money on the table. I just want some sauce, catching for the mail. Flew right overseas, baby, San Diego. Been up on my shit, baby, fuck a label. 100 kept the real, man, through all the years. Always tried to learn from the pioneers.
So yeah, that one definitely was pretty drastic. It also gave a lot of body to the vocal as well, so, could also be used for that. The next thing we got here is exciters, the Logic stock exciter. I really love this plugin. I got the frequency set to 12.6K, and the harmonics are at 19.2%, but you can adjust that accordingly. But let's hear the difference with it enabled and bypassed, starting with it bypassed.
Been up on my waist, money on the table. I just want some sauce, catching for the mail. Flew right overseas, baby, San Diego. Been up on my shit, baby, fuck a label. 100 kept the real, man, through all the years. Always tried to learn from the pioneers, still didn't get.
So there you have it. That one was subtle, but it gave it some nice top end sparkle to help it cut through the mix. And this vocal, it's raw otherwise, so we're definitely hearing the difference there. It's really helping it. Okay, so the next way actually doesn't have to do with the vocal, right? Because frequencies in the mix, they all interact with each other between tracks. So instead of adding, boosting, enhancing, whatever, to the upper frequencies of the vocal, we could kind of do the inverse to something else, right? In this case, we're going to be doing some EQing to a different instrument and removing some high-end frequencies in order for them to shine more in the vocal. And if we listen to this mix here, you can hear that the hi-hat is competing with the vocal in the upper frequencies. So let's hear that.
Been up on my waist, money on the table.
Right, that hi-hat kind of sounds like a sprinkler. So if we go to the hi-hat, which is this one right here, we can just solo it. It's a hi-hat, right? Obviously, it's going to have some higher frequencies. So what I did here is I just did a high shelf at 7400, removing 2.7 decibels. So I'll let you hear the hi-hat soloed with the EQ before and after, and then I'll play it in context with the mix. So here is the hi-hat soloed, starting with the EQ bypassed. Okay, now what I'll do is I'll play it in context of the entire mix, starting with the EQ bypassed.
Been up on my waist, money on the table. I just want some sauce, catching border mail. Flew right overseas, baby, San Diego. Been up on my shit, baby, fuck a label. 100 kept the real, man, through all the years.
So notice how when the EQ was enabled and those high frequencies were being removed from the hi-hat, the vocal cut through more, gained more clarity, got more forwardness. It felt right in your face, right? And that is a completely raw vocal with no processing on it, just processing to other instruments. So sometimes you want to think about this as like a puzzle, right? You don't always want to be processing the vocal. Sometimes it's things in the way of the vocal, and instead of over processing and over baking the vocal in order to fight it, maybe we can back off on other things to make room for that vocal with EQ in this case. All right, and the last tip I have today for a bright vocal is a bright reverb. In this case, I use the stock Logic Chromaverb. I have it on the Airy setting. Here are my EQ points. You can copy them. It's just a high shelf and a low cut. And then here is my output EQ. I got a high shelf right there. You can see it. Basically just making the the reverb bright. I got a 96 millisecond pre-delay. There's the attack and all the settings, but that's not necessarily important. I could have used any different type of reverb. I was just going for, I kind of use this like a room reverb, short, bright. But yeah, the wet is only on 3%, so it's very subtle. I didn't want it to be like an effect and noticeable reverb. I just wanted some bright frequencies to blend in to the vocal to make it brighter. So let's hear what it sounds like. Bypassed and enabled, starting with it, bypassed.
Been up on my waist, money on the table. I just want some sauce, catching border mail. Flew right overseas, baby, San Diego. Been up on my shit, baby, fuck a label. 100 kept the real, man, through all the years. Always tried to learn from the pioneers. Still didn't get the message, I should dry my ears. I can't wait till I shine when the drama.
So there you have it, guys. There's a few different ways that you can get brighter vocals. And remember, you don't always need to process the vocals in order to make the vocals sound better. That's probably the biggest takeaway and gem from this video. But if you learned anything, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share, name your firstborn child after me. It really helps with the algorithm. I'd appreciate it. And to everyone that's been subscribing recently, I appreciate that a lot. We just passed 250 subs. Hopefully one day I can look at that and just laugh at that number. But that's up to you guys. So yeah, I appreciate it. Follow me on TikTok. I post little clips of all of my tutorials on there so you can get refreshers or just, a little bit more digestible content, short form, and it just helps me out. I'd appreciate it. Anyways, guys, my name is Inswain with Inswain Audio. Peace.